do.
Yes, well, you must not eat as if you were going to eat at all. You behave as if you were married to her already. Well, you're not married to her already, and I don't think you ever will be.
Why on earth do you say that?
My dear boy, Gwendolyn is my first cousin. And before I allow you to marry her, you will have to clear up the whole question of Cecily.
Cecily? What do you mean, Algy, by Cecily? I don't know anyone of that name.
Bring me that cigarette case that Mr. Worthing left in the dining room last time.
Yes, sir.
Do you mean to say that you've had my cigarette case all this time? I wish to goodness you would have told me. I've been writing frantic letters to Scotland Yard about it. I was very nearly offering a large reward.
Well, I wish you would offer one. I happen to be more than usually hard up.
There's no sense in offering a large reward now that the thing is found.
Well, I think that is rather mean of you, Ernest. However, it makes no matter now. For that I look at the inscription inside, I find the thing isn't yours after all.
Well, of course it's mine. You've seen it with me 100 times. You have no right whatsoever to read what is written inside.
It is absurd to have a hard and fast rule about what one should read and what one shouldn't. Why, more than half of modern culture depends on what one shouldn't read.
I know that, and I don't propose to discuss modern culture with you. It isn't the sort of thing one discusses of in private. I simply want my cigarette case back.
Yes, but this isn't your cigarette case. This cigarette case is a present from someone of the name of Cecily. And you just said you didn't know anyone of that name.
Well, if you want to know, Cecily happens to be my aunt.
Oh, your aunt?
Yes, charming old lady, too. Lives at Tunbridge Wells.
But why does she call herself Little Cecily if she is your aunt and lives at Tunbridge Wells? From Little Cecily with her fondest love.
My dear Algy, what on earth is there in that? Some aunts are tall and some aunts are not tall. That, my dear, is a matter that surely an aunt may be allowed to decide for herself. You seem to think that every aunt should be just like your aunt. Well, that is absurd. For heaven's sake, Algy, just give me my cigarette case back.
But why does your aunt call you her uncle? From Little Cecily with her fondest love to dear Uncle Jack. Now, there is no objection, I admit, to an aunt being a small aunt, but why an aunt, no matter what her size may be, should call her own nephew her uncle, I can't quite make out. And besides, Jack, your name isn't Jack. Your name is Ernest.
It isn't Ernest, it's Jack.
You have always told me it was Ernest. I have introduced you to the name as Ernest. You answer to the name of Ernest. You look as if your name were Ernest. Well, you're the most earnest-looking person I ever saw in my whole life. It's perfectly absurd you're saying your name isn't Ernest. It's on one of your cards, and here's one of them. Mr. Ernest Worthing, B4, the Albany. I'll keep this as proof that your name is Ernest if ever you attempt to deny it to me, or to Gwendolyn, or to anyone else.
Well, if you insist on knowing, my name is Ernest in town and Jack in the country. And the cigarette case was given to me in the country.
Yes. But why does your aunt call you her uncle? Come on, boy, you had much better have the thing out at once.
Oh, you talk exactly as if you were a dentist. It's very vulgar to talk like a dentist when one isn't a dentist. It produces a false impression.
Well, that is what dentists always do. Now, go on. Tell me the whole thing. I may mention that I have always suspected you of being a confirmed and secret Bunburyist. And I'm quite sure of it now.
Bunburyist? What on earth do you mean by a Bunburyist?
I'll reveal to you the meaning of that incomparable expression as soon as you are kind enough to inform me why you are Ernest in town and then Jack in the country.
Well, produce my cigarette case first.
All right, here it is. Now produce your explanation. And pray, make it improbable.
Oh, my dear Algy, there is nothing improbable about my explanation at all. In fact, it's perfectly ordinary. The late Mr. Thomas Cardew, who adopted me when I was a young boy, made me in his will guardian to his granddaughter, Miss Cecily Cardew. Cecily, who addresses me as her uncle, from motives of respect that you could not possibly appreciate, lives at my house in the country, under the charge of her admirable governess, Miss Prism.
Where is that place in the country, by the way?
Oh, that is nothing to you, dear Algy. You are not going to be invited. I may tell you quite candidly that the place is not in Shropshire.
Well, I suspected that, my dear fellow. I've bunberried all over Shropshire on 2 separate occasions. Go on, tell me the whole thing. Why are you Ernest in town and Jack in the country?
My dear Algy, I do not know whether you'll be able to understand my real motives. You are hardly serious enough. But when one is placed in the position of guardian, one must adopt a very high moral tone on all subjects. It's one's duty to do so. And as a high moral tone can hardly be said to conduce very much to either one's health or one's happiness, in order that I may get up to town once in a while, I have pretended to have a younger brother by the name of Ernest, who lives at the Albany and gets into the most dreadful scrapes. That, my dear Algy, is the whole truth, pure and simple.
The truth is rarely pure and never simple. Modern life would be very tedious if it were either, and modern literature a complete impossibility.
Well, that wouldn't be at all a bad thing.
Literary criticism is not your forte. Don't try it. You should leave that to the people who haven't been at a university. They do it so well in the daily papers. What you really are is a bunburyist. I was quite right in saying you were a bunburyist. You're one of the most advanced bunburyists I know.
What on earth do you mean by a bunburyist?
You have invented a useful younger brother called Ernest in order that you may be able to come up to town as often as you like. Well, I've invented an invaluable permanent invalid called Bunbury in order that I may be able to go down into the country as often as I choose. Now, Bunbury is perfectly invaluable. If it wasn't for his extraordinarily bad health, for instance, I wouldn't be able to dine with you tonight at Willis's, for I've been really engaged to Aunt Augusta for more than a week.
I haven't asked you to dine with me anywhere tonight.
I know. You're absurdly careless about sending out invitations. Nothing annoys people so much as not receiving invitations. It's very foolish of you.
Much better dine with your Aunt Augusta.
I haven't the smallest intention of doing anything of the kind. To begin with, I dined there on Monday, and once a week is quite enough to dine with one's own relations. In the second place, whenever I do dine there, I'm always treated as a member of the family, and either sent down with no woman at all, or 2. In the third place, I know perfectly well whom she'll place me next to tonight. She'll place me next to Mary Farquhar, who always flirts with her own husband across the dinner table. Indeed, that is not very pleasant. It's not even decent. And that sort of thing is enormously on the increase in London. The amount of women who flirt with their own husbands in public is perfectly scandalous. It looks so bad. It is simply washing one's clean linen in public. Besides, and now that I know you to be a bunburyist, I naturally want to talk to you about Bunbury. I want to tell you the rules.
Oh, that is nonsense. I am not a bunburyist at all. If Gwendolen accepts me, I'm going to kill my younger brother. In fact, I think I'll kill him in any case. Cecily is a little too much interested in him. It is rather a bore. So I'm going to get rid of him. And I strongly advise you to do the same thing with with your invalid friend with that absurd name.
Nothing will induce me to part with Bunbury. And if you ever do get married, which seems to me to be extremely problematic, you'll be very glad to know Bunbury. A man who marries without knowing Bunbury has a very tedious time of it.
No, that is nonsense. If I marry Gwendolen, and Gwendolen is the only woman I've ever seen that I would marry.
Life, 3 is company, 2 is none.
That, my dear Algy, is the theory that the corrupt French drama has been propounding for the last 50 years.
Yes, and that the happy English home is proved in half the time.
For heaven's sake, don't try to be cynical. It's perfectly easy to be cynical.
It isn't easy to be anything nowadays. There's so much beastly competition about. That must be Aunt Augusta. Only relatives or creditors ever ring in that Wagnerian manner. Now, if I get her out of the way for about 10 minutes, so that you may have the opportunity for proposing to Gwendolen, might I dine with you tonight at Willis's?
I suppose so, if you want to.
Well, yes, but you must be serious about it. I hate people who aren't serious about meals. They're so shallow of them.
Lady Bracknell and Miss Fairfax.
Oh, good morning, dear Algernon. I hope you're behaving very well.
I'm feeling quite well, Aunt Augusta.
Oh, that's not quite the same thing. In fact, the two things rarely go together.
Dear me, you are smart.
Well, I am always smart. Aren't I, Mr. Worthing?
Oh, you're quite perfect, Miss Fairfax.
I hope I am not that. It would leave no room for developments. And I intend to develop in many directions. Oh, I am sorry if we were a little late, Algernon, but I was obliged to call on dear Lady Horbury. I hadn't been there since her poor husband's death. Oh, I never saw a woman look so altered. She looked quite 20 years younger. Oh, and now, I'll have a cup of tea and some of those nice cucumber sandwiches that you promised me.
Certainly, Aunt Augusta.
Oh, won't you come and sit here, Gwendolyn? Thanks, Mama, but I'm quite comfortable where I am.
Good heavens, Lane! Why are there no cucumber sandwiches? I ordered them specially.
There were no cucumbers in the market this morning, sir. I went down twice.
No cucumbers? I told you I'd ordered them specially for Aunt Augusta.
No, sir. Not even for ready money.
That will do, Lane. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm terribly sorry about there being no cucumber sandwiches, Aunt Augusta. Not even for ready money.
No, it really makes no matter. I had some crumpets with Lady Horbury this afternoon, who seems to me to be living entirely for pleasure now.
I hear that her hair has turned quite gold from grief.
Oh, it certainly has changed color. For what cause, of course, I cannot say. Thank you. I have quite a treat for you this evening, Algernon. I'm going to send you down with Mary Farquhar. Oh, she's such a nice woman, and so attentive to her husband. It's simply delightful to watch them.
I'm afraid, Aunt Augusta, I'm going to have to give up the pleasure of dining with you tonight after all.
I hope not, Algernon. It would put my table completely out. Your uncle would have to dine upstairs. Oh, fortunately, he's accustomed to that.
It is a great bore, and need hardly say a terrible disappointment. But the truth is, I have just received a telegram from my poor friend Bunbury, and they're telling me that he's extremely ill again. They seem to think I should be with him.
It's very strange. This Mr. Bunbury seems to suffer from curiously bad health.
Yes, poor Bunbury is a dreadful invalid.
Well, I must say, I think it's high time Mr. Bunbury decide whether he was going to live or die. This silly-shallying with the question is absurd. Nor do I in any way approve of a modern sympathy with invalids. I think it morbid. Illness is hardly a thing to be encouraged in others. Health is the primary duty of life. Oh, I tell that to your poor uncle all the time, but he never seems to take much notice as far as any improvements in his ailment go. Well, I should be much obliged if you would ask Mr. Bunbury from me to be so kind not to have a relapse on Saturday. Oh, I depend on you to arrange my music for me. It is the last reception of the season, and one wants something that will encourage conversation, particularly at the end of the season, when everyone has said practically all they've had to say, which in most cases is probably not much.
Well, I'll speak to Bunbury, Aunt Augusta, if he is still conscious. And, I think I can promise you he'll be all right by Saturday. Of course, the music is a great difficulty. You see, if one plays good music, the people won't listen. And if one plays bad music, then the people don't talk. But I'll run over the program I've drawn out with you if you'll kindly come into the next room with me for a moment.
Oh, it is very thoughtful of you, Algernon. I'm sure the program will be simply delightful after a few expurgations. Oh, French songs I cannot possibly allow. People always seem to think them improper and look shocked, which is vulgar, or laugh, which is worse. Oh, now German sounds are thoroughly respectable language. And indeed, I think it is so. Oh, Gwendolen, you will accompany me? Certainly, Mamma.
Charming day it has been, Miss Fairfax.
Pray don't talk to me about the weather, Mr. Worthing. Whenever people talk to me about the weather, I always feel quite certain that they mean something else, and that makes me so nervous.
But I do mean something else.
Well, I thought so. In fact, I am never wrong.
And I would like to be allowed to take advantage of Lady Bracknell's temporary
I would
absence.
certainly advise you to do so. Mamma has a way of coming back suddenly into a room that I've often had to speak to her about.
Miss Fairfax, ever since I met you, I have admired you more than any other girl I have ever met since I met you.
Well, yes. I'm quite aware of the fact. And I often wish that in public, at any rate, you had been more demonstrative. For me, you've always had an irresistible fascination. Well, even before I met you, I was far from indifferent to you. Well, we live, as I hope you know, Mr. Worthing, in an age of ideals. Well, the fact is constantly mentioned in more expensive monthly magazines and has reached the provincial pulpits, I am told. And my ideal has always been to love someone of the name of Ernest. There's something in that name that inspires absolute confidence. Well, from the moment Algy first mentioned to me that he had a friend called Ernest, I knew I was destined to love you.
You really love me, Gwendolen.
Oh, passionately.
Oh, darling, you don't know how happy you've made me.
My own Ernest.
But you don't mean to tell me that you couldn't love me if my name wasn't Ernest, do you?
But your name is Ernest.
Yes, I know it is. But supposing it wasn't, do you mean to say that you couldn't love me then?
That is clearly a metaphysical speculation. And like most metaphysical speculations, has very little reference, if any at all, to the actual facts of real life, as we know them.
To tell you the truth, Gwendolen, I don't much care for the name of Ernest. But I don't think the name suits me at all.
It suits you perfectly. It's a divine name. It has a music of its own. It produces vibrations.
To speak quite candidly with you, Gwendolen, I think there are plenty of other much nicer names. I think Jack, for instance, a charming name.
Jack? No. There is very little music in the name Jack, if any at all indeed. It does not thrill. It produces absolutely no vibrations. Well, I have known several Jacks, and they have all been usually plain. Besides, Jack is a notorious domesticity for the name John, and I pity any woman who was married to a man called John. She would probably never know the entrancing pleasure of a single moment's solitude. The only real safe name is Ernest.
Well, then I must get christened at once. I mean, we must get married at once. There is no time to be lost.
Married, Mr. Worthing?
Well, surely, Gwendolen. You know that I love you, and you led me to believe that you are not absolutely indifferent to me.
I adore you, but you haven't proposed to me yet. Nothing has been said at all about marriage. The subject has not even been touched on.
Well, may I propose to you now?
I think it would be an admirable opportunity. And to spare you any possible disappointment, Mr. Worthing, I think it only fair to tell you quite frankly beforehand that I am fully determined to accept you.
Oh, Gwendolen!
Yes, Mr. Worthing, what have you got to say to me?
Well, you know what I've got to say to you.
Well, yes, but you don't say it.
Gwendolen, will you marry me?
Of course I will, darling. How long you've been about it? I'm afraid you have had very little experience in how to propose.
Gwendolen, you are the only woman I've ever loved in my whole life.
Yes, but men often propose for practice. I know my brother Gerald does. All my girlfriends tell me so. What wonderfully brown eyes you have, Ernest. They're quite brown. Well, I hope you will always look at me just like that, especially when there are other people present. Mr. Worthing, rise, sir, from this time I recumbent posture. Mama, I must beg of you to retire. This is no place for you. And besides, Mr. Worthing is not quite finished yet. Finished what, may I ask? Well, I am engaged to be married to Mr. Worthing, Mama. Oh, pardon me. You are not engaged to anyone. When you do become engaged to someone, I or your father will tell you. Oh, an engagement should come on a girl's surprise. Pleasant or unpleasant, as the case may be. But it is hardly a matter she would be allowed to arrange for herself. Now, I have a few questions to put to you, Mr. Worthing. While I'm making these inquiries, you, Gwendolen, will wait for me in the carriage. Mama! In the carriage, Gwendolen? Certainly, Mama. Gwendolen! The carriage! You may have a seat, Mr. Worthing.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell. I prefer standing.
Oh, I feel bound to tell you that you are not down on my list of eligible young men. Although, I do have the same list the Duchess of Bolton has. We work together, in fact. However, I am quite ready to enter your name, should your answers be what a really affectionate mother requires. Do you smoke?
Well, yes. I must admit I smoke.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. A man should always have an occupation of some kind. Oh, there are far too many idle men in London as it is. How old are you?
29.
29. A very good age to be married at. I have always been of the opinion that a man who desires to get married should know everything. Or nothing. Which do you know?
I know nothing, Lady Bracknell.
Oh, I am pleased to hear it. Oh, I do not approve of anything that tampers with natural ignorance. Oh, ignorance is like a delicate, exotic fruit. Touch it, and the bloom is gone. Oh, the whole theory behind modern education is radically unsound. Fortunately, in England at any rate, education produces no effect whatsoever. Oh, if it did, it would prove a serious threat to the upper classes. And probably lead to acts of violence in Grosvenor Square. Oh. Oh, what is your income?
Between 7,000 and 8,000 a year.
In land or investments?
In investments, chiefly.
Oh, that is satisfactory. What? With the duties expected of one during one's lifetime, and the duties exacted of one after one's death, land has ceased to be a profit or a pleasure. Why, it gives one position, and prevents one from keeping it up. That is all that can be said about land.
Well, I have a country house with some land attached to it, of course. About 1,500 acres, I believe. But I don't depend on that for my real income. In fact, as far as I can make out, the poachers are the only ones who make anything out of it.
A country house? Well, how many bedrooms? Oh, well, that point can be cleared up afterwards. You do have a townhouse, I hope. A girl with a simple, unspoiled nature like Gwendolen could hardly be expected to reside in the country.
Well, I own a house in Belgrave Square. Of course, it is let by the year to Lady Bloxham. But I could get it back at any moment I like, at 6 months' notice.
Lady Bloxham? I don't know her.
Oh, she goes about very little. She's a lady considerably advanced in years.
Ah, nowadays that is no guarantee of respectability of character. What number in Belgrave Square?
149.
The unfashionable side. I thought there was something. However, that can soon be altered.
Do you mean the fashion or the side?
Well, if necessary, I presume. What are your politics?
I'm afraid I really have none. I'm a liberal unionist.
Oh, they count as Tories. They dine with us, so come in the evening at any rate. Now on to minor matters. Are your parents living?
I have lost both my parents.
Both? To lose one parent, Mr. Worthing, may be regarded as a misfortune. But to lose both? Why, that seems like carelessness. Who's your father? He was evidently a man of some wealth. Was he born in what the radical papers call the purple of commerce, or did he rise from the ranks of aristocracy?
I'm afraid I really don't know. You see, I told you that I had lost both my parents. It would be closer to the truth to say that my parents lost me. See, I really don't know who I am by birth. I was found.
Found?
Yes, the late Mr. Thomas Cardew, a man of a very charitable and kindly disposition, found me and gave me the name of Worthing because he happened to have a first-class ticket for the town of Worthing in his pocket at the time. Worthing is a place in Sussex. It is a seaside resort.
And in what locality did this Mr. James or Thomas Cardew happen to come across you?
In a handbag.
In a handbag?
Yes, a somewhat large black leather handbag with handles to it. A perfectly ordinary handbag, in fact.
Oh, but I asked in what locality did this Mr. James or Thomas Cardew happen to find you?
Oh, in the cloakroom at Victoria Station. It was given to him in mistake for his own.
A cloakroom at Victoria Station?
Yes, the Brighton line, in fact.
Oh, dear, the line is immaterial, Mr. Worthing. I must confess, I feel somewhat bewildered by what you have just told me. To be born, or at any rate bred in a handbag, whether it had handles or not, seems to me to show a contempt for the ordinary decencies of family life. As for the particular locality in which the handbag was found, a cloakroom at Victoria Station might just serve to conceal a social indiscretion. Indeed, has probably been used for that purpose before now. But it could hardly be regarded as an assured basis for a recognized position in good society.
Well, then may I ask you, Lady Bracknell, what you would advise me to do? I need hardly say I would do anything to ensure Gwendolyn's happiness.
I would advise you, Mr. Worthing, to acquire some relations as soon as possible. And to make a definite effort to produce one parent of any rate or of either sex before the season is quite over.
I don't see how I could possibly manage to do that. If I could produce the handbag at a moment's notice. I really think that should satisfy you, Lady Bracknell.
Me, sir? What has this to do with me? You could hardly imagine that I and Lord Bracknell would dream of allowing our only daughter, a girl brought up with the utmost care, to marry into a cloakroom. And form an alliance with a parcel. Good morning, Mr. Worthing.
Good morning. Oh, for heaven's sake, stop playing that ghastly tune, Algy. How idiotic you are.
Didn't it go off all right, old boy? You don't mean to say Gwendolyn refused you? Oh, I know it is a way she has. She's always refusing people. I think it is most ill-natured of her.
Oh, no. Gwendolyn is as right as a trivet. As far as she is concerned, we are engaged. Her mother, on the other hand, is unbearable. Never met such a gorgon. Of course, I really can't say that I know what a gorgon is like. But I'm sure that she is one. She is a monster in any event, without being a myth, which is really unfair. I beg your pardon, Algy. I I suppose I shouldn't be talking about your own aunt this way right before you.
My dear boy, I love hearing my relations abused. It's the only thing that makes me put up with them at all. Relations are simply a tedious pack of people who haven't got the remotest knowledge of how to live, nor the smallest instinct about when to die.
That is nonsense.
It is not.
Well, I won't argue about the matter. You always want to argue about things.
Well, that is what things were originally made for.
Upon my word, if I thought that, I'd shoot myself. Algy, you don't think that Gwendolyn will become anything like her mother in, say, 150 years, do you?
My dear boy, all women become like their mothers. That's their tragedy. No man does, that's his.
Is that clever?
It's perfectly phrased, and quite as true as any observation in civilized life should be.
Oh, I am sick to death of cleverness. Everyone is clever nowadays. You can't go anywhere without meeting clever people. I think it's become an absolute public nuisance. I wish to goodness we had a few fools left.
We have.
Oh, really? I should quite like to meet them. What do they talk about?
The fools? Oh, about the clever people, of course.
What fools?
By the way, have you told Gwendolyn the truth about your being Ernest in town and Jack in the country?
One doesn't go telling the truth to a nice, sweet, refined girl like Gwendolyn. What extraordinary ideas you have on the way to behave to a woman.
The only way to behave to a woman is to make love to her, if she is pretty, and to someone else if she is plain.
That is nonsense. You talk nothing but nonsense.
Well, what about your brother? What about the profligate Ernest?
I shall have gotten rid of him by the end of the week. I'll say he died of apoplexy. In Paris, in fact. Lots of people die quite suddenly of apoplexy, don't they?
Yes, but it's hereditary. That sort of thing runs in families. You would much better say severe chill.
Are you sure severe chill isn't hereditary or anything like that?
Of course it isn't.
Very well, then. My poor brother Ernest is suddenly carried off in Paris by a severe chill. There, that gets rid of him?
Yes, but I thought you said that Miss Cardew is a little too much interested in your poor brother Ernest.
Cecily is not a silly romantic girl, I'm glad to say. She has a capital appetite, and goes long walks, and never pays any attention to her studies.
I would rather like to see Cecily.
Oh, I will take very good care to make sure that you don't. She is excessively pretty, and she is only just 18.
Well, have you told Gwendolyn about your having an excessively pretty ward who is only just 18?
One doesn't go blurting these things out to people. I am sure that Gwendolyn and Cecily are to become great friends, and I will bet you anything you like that 1 half hour after they've met, they will be calling each other sister.
Women only do that when they've called each other a lot of other things first. Now, my dear boy, if we want to get a good table tonight at Willis's, we really must go undressed. You know, it is almost nearly 7.
Oh, it's always almost 7.
Well, I'm hungry.
I never knew when you weren't.
What shall we do after dinner? Let us go to the theater?
Oh, no, I loathe listening.
Well, then, let's just go to the club.
Oh, no, I hate talking.
Well, let us at least trot round to the Empire at 10.
Oh, no, I can't stand a bear looking at things. It is so silly.
Well, then what shall we do?
Nothing.
Well, it is hard work doing nothing. Although I don't mind work when there is no definite object involved.
Miss Fairfax.
Gwendolyn, upon my word.
Algy, kindly turn your back. I have something very particular to say to Mr. Worthing.
Really, I don't think I can allow this at all.
You always adopt a strictly immoral attitude towards life. I don't think you're quite old enough to do that.
My own one.
Ernest, we may never be married. By the expression on Mamma's face, well, I fear we never shall. Few parents nowadays pay any regard to what their children have to say to them. The old-fashioned respect of the young is fast dying out. Whatever influence I had over Mamma, I lost at the age of 3. But although she may prevent us from becoming man and wife, and although I may marry someone else, and marry often, nothing she can do can possibly alter my eternal devotion to her.
Oh, my own one.
Well, the story of your romantic origin, as related to me by Mamma with unpleasing comments, has naturally stirred the deeper fibers of my nature. Your Christian name has an irresistible fascination. but the simplicity of your character makes you exquisitely incomprehensible to me. Your address at the Albany I have. Oh, what is your address in the country?
My address in the country? The Manor House, Woolton, Hertfordshire.
There is a good postal service, I suppose. It may be necessary to do something desperate. Well, that, of course, will take some serious consideration. I will communicate with you daily. Oh, how long do you remain in town?
Till Monday.
Good. Algy, you may turn around now.
Oh, thanks. I've turned round already.
You may also ring the bell.
Gwendolyn, you will let me see you to a carriage, won't you?
Oh, of course, darling.
Then I will see Miss Fairfax out.
Yes, sir.
Bills. Bills? Bills. A glass of sherry, Lane.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow, Lane, I'm going Bunbury.
Yes, sir.
I shall probably not be back until Monday. You can put all my smoking jackets, dress clothes, and all the Bunbury suits.
Yes, sir.
I hope tomorrow will be a fine day, Lane.
It never is, sir.
Lane, you're a perfect pessimist.
I do my best to give satisfaction, sir.
Now there's a sweet, sensible, intellectual girl. The only girl I've ever cared for in my life. What on earth are you so amused at, Algy?
Oh, I'm just a little anxious about poor Bunbury, that's all.
You better take care or your friend Bunbury will get you into a very serious scrape someday.
Well, I love scrapes. They're the only things that are never serious.
Oh, that is nonsense, Algy. You talk nothing but nonsense.
Nobody ever does.
Cecily, surely such utilitarian occupation as the watering of the flowers is more Moulton's duty than yours. Oh, especially at a moment when intellectual pleasures await you. Your German grammar is on the table. Pray open it to page 15. We will repeat yesterday's lesson.
But I don't like German. It isn't at all a becoming language. Oh, I know perfectly well that I look quite plain after my German lesson.
You know your guardian wants you to improve yourself in every way. He laid particular stress on your German as he was leaving for town yesterday. Indeed, he always lays stress on your German before he is leaving for town.
Dear Uncle Jack is so very serious. Oh, sometimes he is so serious, I think he cannot be quite well.
Your guardian enjoys the best of health, and his gravity of demeanor is one to be commended for one so comparatively young as he. I find no one who has a higher sense of duty and responsibility.
Well, I suppose that is why he often looks a little bored when we three are together.
Oh, Cecily, I am surprised at you. Mr. Worthing has many troubles in his life. Idle merriment and triviality would be out of place in this conversation. Oh, you must remember that constant anxiety about that unfortunate young man, his brother.
Oh, I wish Uncle Jack would allow that unfortunate young man, his brother, to come down here sometimes. We might have a good influence over him, Miss Prism. I'm sure you certainly would. You know German and geology, and things of that kind influence a man very much.
I don't think that even I could have any effect on a character that by his own brother's admission is irretrievably weak and vacillating. I don't think that even I would want to reclaim him. I'm not for this modern mania of turning bad people into good people at a moment's notice. As a man sows, so shall he reap. You must put away a diary, Cecily. I don't see why you should keep a diary at all.
Well, I keep a diary in order to enter the wonderful secrets of my life. If I didn't write them down, I should probably forget all about them.
Memory, my dear Cecily, is a diary we all carry about with us.
Yes, but it usually chronicles things that have never happened and couldn't possibly have happened. Well, I believe that memory is responsible for nearly all the 3-volume novels that Moody sends us.
Don't speak slightingly of the 3-volume novel, Cecily. I wrote one myself in earlier days.
Oh, did you really, Miss Prism? How wonderfully clever you are. I hope it did not end happily. I don't like novels that end happily. They depress me so much.
The good end happily and the bad unhappily. That is what fiction means.
I suppose so, but it seems very unfair. And was your novel ever published?
Alas, no. The manuscript was unfortunately abandoned. Oh, I use the word in a sense of lost or mislaid. But to your work, child, these speculations are profitless.
But I see Dr. Chasuble coming up through the garden.
Dr. Chasuble? Oh, this is indeed a pleasure.
And how are we this morning? Miss Prism, you are, I trust, well?
Miss Prism has just been complaining of a slight headache. I think it would do her so much good to have a stroll with you in the park, Dr. Chasuble.
Cecily, I've not mentioned anything about a
I
headache.
know, dear Miss Prism, but I felt instinctively that you had a headache. Indeed, I was thinking about that and not about my German lesson when the rector came in.
I hope, Cecily, you are not inattentive.
Oh, I'm afraid I am.
That is strange. Were I fortunate enough to be Miss Prism's pupil, I would hang upon her lips. I spoke metaphorically, of course. My metaphor was drawn from bees. Mr. Worthing, I suppose, has not returned from town yet?
Oh, we do not expect Mr. Worthing till Monday afternoon.
Yes, yes. He usually likes to spend his Sunday in London. He's not one of those whose sole aim is enjoyment, as by all accounts that unfortunate young man, his brother, seems to be. But I must not disturb Egeria and her pupil any longer.
Egeria? My name is Letitia, Doctor.
Classical allusion merely, drawn from the pagan authors. I shall see you both, no doubt, at evensong.
I think, dear Doctor, I will have that stroll with you. I find I had a headache after all, and a walk might do it good.
With pleasure, Miss Prism, with pleasure. We might go as far as the schools and back.
That would be lovely. Cecily, you'll read your political economy in my absence. The chapter on the fall of the repeal may admit it is somewhat too sensational. Even these metallic problems have a melodramatic side.
Horrid political economy, horrid geography, horrid German.
Mr. Worthing is just driven over from the station. He has brought his luggage with him.
Mr. Ernest Worthing, B4, the Albany W. Oh, Uncle Jack's brother. Did you tell him Mr. Worthing was in town?
Yes, miss. He seemed very much disappointed. I mentioned to him that you and Miss Prism were in the garden together. He said he was anxious to speak to you privately for a moment.
Ask Mr. Ernest Worthing to come here. I suppose you had better talk to the housekeeper about a room for him.
Yes, miss.
I have never met any really wicked person before. Oh, I feel rather frightened. I'm so afraid he'll look just like everyone else. Well, he does.
You're my little cousin Cecily, I'm sure.
You are under some strange mistake. I am not little. In fact, I believe I am more than usually tall for my age. But I am your cousin Cecily. And you, I see from your card, are Uncle Jack's brother, my cousin Ernest. My wicked cousin Ernest.
Oh, well, I am really not wicked. You shouldn't say that I am wicked.
Well, if you are not, then you certainly have been deceiving us all in a very inexcusable manner. Oh, I hope you have not been leading a double life, pretending to be wicked and being really good all the time. Well, that would be hypocrisy.
Of course, I have been rather reckless.
I am glad to hear it.
Well, now that you mention the subject, I have been very bad in my own small way.
I don't think you should be so proud of that, though I'm sure it must have been very pleasant.
Well, it is much pleasanter being here with you.
Well, I can't understand how you were here at all. Uncle Jack won't be back until Monday afternoon.
Oh, that is a great disappointment. I'm obliged to go up by the first train on Monday morning. I have a business appointment that I am anxious to miss.
Oh, couldn't you miss it anywhere but in London?
Well, no, the appointment is in London.
Well, I know, of course, how important it is not to keep a business engagement if one wants to retain any sense of the beauty of life. But still, I think you had better wait until Uncle Jack arrives. I know he wants to talk to you about your emigrating.
About my what?
You're emigrating. He's gone up to buy your outfit.
I certainly wouldn't let Jack buy my outfit. He has absolutely no taste in neckties at all.
I don't think you'll require neckties where you're going. Uncle is sending you to Australia.
Australia? I'd sooner die.
He said at dinner on Wednesday night that you'd have to choose between this world, the next world, and Australia.
Well, the accounts I have had of the next world and Australia aren't particularly encouraging. This world is good enough for me, Cecily.
Yes, but are you good enough for it?
I'm afraid I'm not that. That's why I want you to reform me. You might make that your mission, Cousin Cecily?
Well, I'm afraid I have no time this afternoon.
Well, would you mind my reforming myself this afternoon?
Well, it's rather quixotic of you, but I think you should try.
I will. I feel better already.
You are looking a little worse.
Well, that's because I'm hungry.
Oh, how thoughtless of me. Well, I should have remembered that when one is going to lead an entirely new life, one requires regular and wholesome meals. Won't you come in?
Thank you. Might I have a buttonhole first? I never have any appetite unless I have a buttonhole first.
Marish O'Neill?
I'd sooner have a pink rose.
Why?
Because you are like a pink rose, Cousin Cecily.
I don't think it can be quite right for you to talk to me like that. Miss Prism never says such things to me.
Well, then Miss Prism is a short-sighted old lady. You were the prettiest girl I ever saw.
Miss Prism says all good looks are a snare.
Well, then they are a snare that every sensible man would love to be caught in.
Oh, I don't think I would care to catch a sensible man. I shouldn't know what to talk to him about.
You are too much alone, Dr. Chasuble. Oh, you should get married. A misanthrope I can understand. A womanthrope never.
Oh, believe me, I do not deserve so neologistic a phrase. The precept as well as the practice of the primitive church was distinctly against matrimony.
That is why the primitive church has not lasted up to the present day. And you do not seem to realize, dear doctor, that by persistently remaining single, a man converts himself into a permanent public temptation. Oh, men should be more careful. This very celibacy leads weaker vessels astray.
But is a man not equally attractive when married?
Oh, no married man is ever attractive, except to his wife.
And often I've been told not even to her.
Well, that depends on the intellectual sympathies of the woman. Maturity can be depended on. Rightness can be trusted. Young women are green. Oh, I spoke horticulturally. My metaphor was drawn from fruits. But where is Cecily?
Perhaps she followed us to the schools.
Oh, no, I don't think so. Mr. Worthing!
Mr. Worthing?
Mr. Worthing, this is indeed a surprise. We did not expect you till Monday afternoon.
I have returned earlier than I expected. Dr. Chasuble, I hope you are well.
Dear Mr. Worthing, I trust this garb of woe does not betoken some terrible calamity.
My brother.
Oh, shameful depths and extravagance.
Still leading his life of pleasure.
Dead.
Your brother, Ernest, dead?
Quite dead.
Oh, what a lesson for him. I trust he will profit by it.
Dear Mr. Worthing, I offer you my sincere condolence. You at least have the consolation of knowing that you were always the most generous and forgiving of brothers.
Poor Ernest. He had his faults, but this is a sad, sad blow.
Very sad indeed. Were you with him at the end?
No, he died abroad. In Paris, in fact. I received a telegram from the manager of the Grand Hotel last night.
And And was the cause of death mentioned?
It seems he died of a severe chill.
As a man sows, so shall he reap.
Charity, dear Miss Prism, charity. None of us are perfect. I myself am peculiarly susceptible to drafts. Will the interment take place here?
Oh, no, he seemed to have expressed an extreme desire to be buried in Paris.
In Paris? I fear that that hardly points to any very serious state of mind at the last. You would no doubt wish me to make some slight allusion to the tragic domestic affliction next Sunday. My sermon on the meaning of the manna in the wilderness can be adapted to almost any occasion, joyful, or as in the present case, distressing.
Oh.
I have preached it at christenings, confirmations, on days of humiliation, and even festal days. In fact, the last time that I delivered it was in the cathedral, as a charity sermon, on behalf of the Society for the Prevention of Discontent among the upper orders. The bishop who was present was much struck by some of the analogies I drew.
That reminds me, you mentioned christenings, didn't you? I suppose you know how to christen all right? I mean, you are continually christening, aren't you?
I regret to say it is one of the rector's most constant duties in our parish. I have often spoken to the lower classes on the subject, but they don't seem to know what thrift is.
But was there any particular infant in whom you were interested, Mr. Worthing? Your brother was unmarried, was he not?
Oh, yes.
People who live entirely for pleasure usually are.
But it is not for any infant that I would like the christening. No, I am very fond of children. I would like to be christened myself this afternoon, if it would be no problem to you.
But of course, Mr. Worthing, you have been christened already.
I don't remember anything about it.
But have you any grave doubts on the subject?
I certainly intend to have. Of course, I don't know if the thing would bother you in any way, or if you think I'm just a little too old now.
Not at all. The sprinkling and indeed the immersion of adults is a perfectly canonical practice.
Immersion?
You need have no apprehensions, Mr. Worthing. The sprinkling is all that is necessary, or indeed, I think, advisable. Our weather is so changeable. At what hour would you wish the ceremony performed?
Oh, I thought I might trot by around 5 if that would do.
Perfectly, perfectly. In fact, I have 2 similar ceremonies to be performed at that time. The case of twins that occurred recently in one of the outlying cottages on your very own estate. Poor Jenkins, the carter, a most hard-working man.
Oh, I don't think I would like to be christened with other babies. Why, that would be childish. Would 5:30 do?
Admirably, admirably. And now, dear Mr. Worthing, I must not intrude into a house of sorrow any longer. I would merely beg that you not be too much bowed down by grief. What seem to us bitter trials are often blessings in disguise.
Well, this seems to be a blessing of the extremely obvious kind.
Oh, Uncle Jack. Oh, I'm pleased to see you back. What horrid clothes you have got on. Do go and change them.
Cecily!
My child, my child.
What's the matter, Uncle Jack? Do look happy. You look as if you had a toothache. And I've got such a surprise for you. Who do you think is in the dining room? Your brother. Who? Your brother Ernest. He arrived about half an hour ago.
Well, that's nonsense. I haven't got a brother.
Oh, Uncle Jack, don't say that. However badly he may have behaved to you in the past, he's still your brother. You couldn't be so heartless as to disown him. I'll tell him to come out, and you will shake hands with him, won't you, Uncle Jack?
These are very joyful tidings.
After we had all been resigned to his loss, his sudden appearance seems quite distressing.
My brother in the dining room? That is absurd. I don't know what this all means. Good heavens! Brother John, I have come down from town to tell you that I am very sorry for all the trouble that I've caused you, and that I intend to lead a better life in the future.
Uncle Jack, you are not going to refuse your own brother's hand.
Nothing will induce me to take his hand. I think his coming down here disgraceful. He knows perfectly well why.
Uncle Jack, don't be nice. Well, there's some good in everyone. Ernest has just been telling me about his poor invalid friend, Mr. Bunbury. Who he goes to visit so often in London. And surely there must be much good in one who is kind to an invalid and leaves the pleasures of London to sit by a bed of pain.
Bunbury? Oh, he's been talking to you about Bunbury, has he?
Oh, yes. He's told me all about poor Mr. Bunbury and his terrible state of health.
Well, I won't have him talking to you about Bunbury or about anything else. It's enough to drive one perfectly frantic.
Of course, I admit that the faults were all on my side. But I must say that Brother John's coldness to me is peculiarly painful, especially considering this is the first time I have ever come here.
Uncle Jack, if you don't shake hands with Ernest, I will never forgive you.
Never forgive me?
Never, never, never.
Well, this is the last time I should do it.
It is pleasant, is it not, to see so perfect a reconciliation? I think we might leave the two brothers together.
Cecily, you will come with us.
Certainly, Miss Prism. My little task of reconciliation is over.
You have done a beautiful action today, my child.
We must not be premature in our judgments.
I feel very happy.
You young scoundrel, Algy! I say, your coming down here is disgraceful. I won't allow any bun-bearing here.
I have put Mr. Ernest's things in the room next to yours, sir. I suppose that is all right?
What?
Mr. Ernest's luggage, sir. I have unpacked it and put it in the room next to your own.
His luggage?
Yes, sir. 3 portable towels, a dressing case, 2 hat boxes, and a large luncheon basket.
I'm afraid I can't stay for more than a week this time.
Merriman, order the dog cart at once. Mr. Ernest has suddenly been called back to town.
Yes, sir.
What a fearful liar you are, Jack. I have not been called back to town at all.
Yes, you have.
Well, I haven't heard anyone call me.
Your duty as a gentleman calls you back.
My duty as a gentleman has never interfered with my pleasures in the smallest degree.
I can quite understand that.
Well, Cecily is a darling.
You are not to speak of Miss Cardew like that. But I don't like it. I don't like your clothes.
Look perfectly ridiculous in them. It's so childish. It is ridiculous to be in deep mourning for a man who's actually staying in your own home with you for an entire week as a guest.
You are not staying in my home for a whole week as a guest or as anything else. You've got to leave by the 4:05 train.
Oh, well, I certainly won't leave you so long as you are in mourning, Jack. I think it would be most unfriendly of me. You wouldn't leave me if I were in mourning.
Well, will you go if I change my clothes?
Yes. If you promise not to take so long. I've never seen someone take so much time to dress with such little result.
It's better than being always overdressed as you are.
Well, if I'm occasionally a little overdressed, I make up for it by being immensely overeducated.
Your vanity is ridiculous. Your conduct an outrage, and your presence here in my garden, utterly absurd. However, you've got to leave by the 4:05 train. I hope you have a pleasant journey back to town. This so-called bum-bearing hasn't been so successful for you.
I think it has been a great success. I'm in love with Cecily, and that is everything. But I've got to see her before I leave to make arrangements for another bun-bearing. There she is.
Oh, I merely came back to water the roses. Oh, I thought you were with Uncle Jack.
He's going to order the dog cart for me.
Is he going to take you for a nice drive?
No, he's going to send me away.
And have we got to part?
I'm afraid so. It's a very painful parting.
Oh, it is always painful to part from people whom one has known for a very brief space of time. The absence of old friends one can endure with equanimity. But even a momentary separation from anyone to whom one has just been introduced is almost unbearable.
Thank you.
The dog cart is waiting, sir.
It can wait, Merriman, for 5 minutes.
Yes, miss.
Cecily, I hope I shall not offend you if I state quite frankly and openly that you seem to me to be in every way the visible personification of absolute perfection.
I think your frankness does you great credit, Ernest. If you'll allow me, I'll copy your remarks into my diary.
Do you keep a diary? I'd give anything to look at it, may I?
No. You see, it is simply a very young girl's record of her thoughts and impressions, and consequently meant for publication. When it appears in volume form, I hope you will order a copy. But pray, Ernest, don't stop. I delight in taking down from dictation. I have reached absolute perfection. You may go on. Oh, don't cough, Ernest. When one is dictating, one should speak fluently and not cough. Besides, I don't know how to spell a cough.
Cecily, ever since I first looked upon your wonderful and incomparable beauty, I have dared to love you wildly, passionately, devotedly, hopelessly.
I don't think you should tell me you love me wildly, passionately, devotedly, hopelessly. Hopelessly doesn't seem to make much sense, does it?
Dog cart is waiting, sir.
Tell it to come round next week at the same hour.
Yes, sir.
Uncle Jack would be very annoyed to know you were staying on till next week at the same hour.
Well, I don't care about Jack. I don't care about anyone in the whole world but you, Cecily. I love you. You will marry me, won't you?
Oh, you silly boy. Of course. We've been engaged for the last 3 months.
For the last 3 months?
Oh, yes. It will be exactly 3 months on Thursday.
But how did we become engaged?
Well, when Uncle Jack first confessed to us that he had a younger brother who was very wicked and bad, you, of course, formed the chief topic of conversation between myself and Miss Prism. And a man who is much talked about is always very attractive. One feels there must be something in him after all. I dare say it was foolish of me, Ernest, but I fell in love with you.
Darling, when was the engagement actually settled?
On the 14th of February last. Worn out by your entire ignorance of my existence, I determined to settle the matter one way or another. So, after a long struggle with myself, I accepted you under this dear old tree here. The next day, I bought this little ring in your name. And this is the little bangle with the true lover's knot I promised you always to wear.
Did I give you this? It's very pretty, isn't it?
Oh, yes. You've wonderfully good taste, Ernest. Oh, it's the excuse I've always given for your leading such a bad life. Oh, and this is the box in which I keep all your dear letters.
Letters? But my own dear Cecily, I have never written you any letters.
You need hardly remind me of that, Ernest. I remember only too well that I was forced to write your letters for you. I always wrote 3 times a week and sometimes oftener.
Well, do let me read them.
Oh, no, you couldn't possibly. They would make you far too conceited. The 3 you wrote me after I had broken off the engagement are so beautiful and so badly spelled that even now I can hardly read them without crying a little.
But was the engagement ever broken off?
Well, yes, on the 22nd of last March. You can see the entry if you like. Today I broke off my engagement with Ernest. I feel it is better to do so. The weather still continues charming.
But why did you break off the engagement? What had I done? I had done nothing at all, Cecily. It hurts me very much indeed to hear that you broke off our engagement. Especially considering the weather was so charming.
It would hardly have been a really serious engagement if it hadn't been broken off at least once. Besides, I forgave you before the week was out.
What a perfect angel you are, Cecily.
You dear romantic boy. I hope your hair curls naturally.
Well, yes, with a little help from others.
I'm so glad.
You'll never break off our engagement again, will you?
No, I don't think I could, now that I've actually met you. Besides, there is the question of your name.
Of course.
You mustn't laugh at me, darling. But it had always been a girlish dream of mine to love someone whose name was Ernest. Well, there is something in that name that inspires absolute confidence. Oh, I pity any married woman whose husband is not called Ernest.
But do you mean to say that you couldn't love me if I had some other name?
But what name?
Any name you like. Algernon, for instance.
I don't like the name of Algernon.
But my own dear, sweet Cecily, I really don't see why you should object to the name of Algernon. Why, it's rather an aristocratic name. Half of the chaps who get into the bankruptcy court are called Algernon. But really, Cecily, if I was called Algie, couldn't you love me?
Well, I might respect you, Ernest. I might admire your character, but I don't think I could give you my undivided attention.
Your rector here is, I suppose, thoroughly experienced in all the rites and ceremonials of the church?
Well, yes, Dr. Chasuble is a most learned man. He's never written a single book, so you can imagine how much he knows.
Well, I have to see him on a most important christening. I mean, on most important business.
Oh?
I shan't be away for more than half an hour.
Well, considering the fact that we have been engaged since February the 14th, that I only met you today for the first time, I think it is rather hard that you should leave me for so long a period as half an hour. Couldn't you make it 20 minutes?
I'll be back in no time.
What an impetuous boy he is. I like his hair so much. I must enter his proposal in my diary.
Miss Fairfax is called to see Mr. Worthing. On very important business, Miss Fairfax states.
Isn't Mr. Worthing in his library?
Mr. Worthing went over to the rector some time ago.
Ask the lady to come here. And Mr. Worthing is sure to be back soon, and you can bring tea.
Yes, miss.
Miss Fairfax. I suppose one of the many good elderly women was associated with Uncle Jack in some philanthropic work in London. I don't quite like women who are interested in philanthropic work. It is so forward of them.
Miss Fairfax.
Pray, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Cecily Cardew.
Oh, Cecily Cardew. What a very sweet name. Oh, something tells me that we are going to be great friends. Well, I like you already more than I can say. My first impressions of people are never wrong.
Oh, how nice of you to like me so much when we've known each other such a comparatively short time. Pray, sit down.
Thank you. I may call you Cecily, may I not?
Oh, with pleasure.
And you will always call me Gwendolen, won't you?
If you wish.
Oh, then it is all quite settled, is it not?
I hope so.
Perhaps this might be a favorable opportunity for me mentioning who I am. Well, my father is Lord Bracknell. You have heard of Papa, I suppose.
No, I don't think so.
Well, outside the family circle, Papa, I'm glad to say, is entirely unknown. Well, I think it is quite the way it should be. The home seems to be the proper sphere for a man. And certainly once a man begins to neglect his domestic duties, he becomes painfully effeminate, does he not? And I don't like that. It makes men so very attractive. Mama, whose views on education are remarkably strict, has brought me up to be extremely short-sighted. So do you mind my looking at you through my glasses?
Not at all, Gwendolen. I'm very fond of being looked at.
You are here on a short visit, I suppose?
Oh, no, I live here.
Really? Your mother, no doubt, or some other female relative of advanced years resides here also?
No, I have no mother, nor any relations.
Indeed?
My dear guardian, with the assistance of Miss Prism, has the arduous task of looking after me.
Your guardian?
Oh, yes. I am Mr. Worthing's ward.
Oh. It is strange he never mentioned to me that he had a ward. How secretive of him. He grows more interesting hourly. I am not sure, however, that the news inspires me with feelings of unmixed delight. Well, I'm very fond of you, Cecily. I've liked you ever since I met you. But I'm bound to state that now that I know you are Mr. Worthing's ward, I can't help expressing a wish you were. Well, just a little older than you seem to be. And not quite so very alluring in appearance. In fact, if I may speak candidly...
Pray do. I think that whenever one has anything unpleasant to say, one should always be quite candid.
Oh, well, to speak with perfect candor, Cecily, I wish you were fully 42, and more than usually plain for your age. Ernest has a strong, upright nature. He is the very soul of truth and honor. and disloyalty would be as impossible to him as deception. Well, even men of the noblest possible moral character are extremely susceptible to the influence of others. Well, modern, no less than ancient history, supplies us with many most painful examples of what I refer to. Well, if it were not so, indeed, history would be quite unreadable.
I beg your pardon, Gwendolyn, but did you say Ernest?
Oh, yes.
But it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is my guardian. It is his brother, his elder brother.
Ernest never mentioned to me that he had a brother.
Oh, I'm sorry to say. They have not been on good terms for a long time.
Ah, well, that accounts for it. And now that I think of it, I've never heard any man mention his brother. The subject seems most distasteful to men. Well, you have lifted a load from my mind, Cecily. I was growing almost anxious. It would have been terrible if any cloud had come across a friendship like ours, would it not? Of course, you are quite sure that it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is your guardian.
Quite sure. In fact, I am going to be his.
I beg your pardon.
Dear Gwendolyn, there is no reason why I should make a secret of it to you. Our little county newspapers are sure to chronicle the fact next week. Mr. Ernest Worthing and I are engaged to be married.
My darling Cecily, well, I feel there must be some slight error, for Mr. Worthing is engaged to be married to me. The announcement will appear in the Morning Post at Saturday at the latest.
Why, I'm afraid there must be some mistake, Gwendolyn. Ernest proposed to me exactly 10 minutes ago.
It is certainly very curious, for he asked me to be his wife yesterday at 5:30. Well, if you care to verify the incident, pray do so. I never travel without my diary. One should always have something sensational to read in the train. I'm so sorry, dear Cecily, if it has been any disappointment to you, but I'm afraid I have the prior claim.
Oh, it would distress me more than I can tell you, dear Gwendolyn, if it caused you any mental or physical anguish. But I feel bound to point out that since Ernest proposed to you, he clearly has changed his mind.
If the poor fellow has been entrapped into any foolish promise, I shall consider it my duty to rescue him at once, and with a firm hand.
Whatever unfortunate entanglement my dear boy may have gotten himself into, I will never reproach him with it after we are married.
Do you allude to me, Miss Cardew, as an entanglement? You are presumptuous. On an occasion of this kind, it becomes more than a moral duty to speak one's mind. It becomes a pleasure.
Do you suggest, Miss Fairfax, that I entrapped Ernest into an engagement? How dare you? This is no time for wearing the shallow mask of manners. When I see a spade, I call it a spade.
I'm glad to say that I've never seen a spade. It is obvious that our social spheres have been widely different.
Shall I lay the tea here as usual, miss?
Oh, yes, as usual.
Are there many interesting walks in the vicinity, Miss Cardew?
Oh, yes, a great many. In fact, from the top of one of the hills quite close, one can see 5 counties.
Oh, 5 counties? Well, I don't think I should like that. I hate crowds.
I suppose that is why you live in town, Miss Fairfax?
Quite a well-kept garden you have, Miss Cardew.
So glad you like it, Miss Fairfax.
I had no idea there are any flowers in the country.
Flowers are as common here, Miss Fairfax, as people are in London.
Personally, I can't understand how anyone manages to exist in the country. If anybody does, well, the country always bores me to death.
This is what the newspapers call agricultural depression, is it not? I believe the aristocracy are suffering very much from it just at present. It is almost an epidemic amongst them, I have been told. May I offer you some tea, Miss Fairfax?
Yes, thank you. Detestable girl, but I do require tea.
Sugar?
No, thank you. Sugar is not fashionable anymore. bread and butter, please. A cake is rarely seen in the best houses nowadays. Hand that to Miss Fairfax. Thank you. You have filled my tea with lumps of sugar. And though I asked you most distinctly for bread and butter, you have given me cake. I am known for the gentleness of my disposition and the extraordinary sweetness of my nature. But I warn you, Miss Cardew, you may go too far.
To save my poor, innocent, trusting boy from the machinations of any other girl, there are no lengths to which I would not go.
From the moment I saw you, I distrusted you. I felt you were false and deceitful. I am never deceived in such matters. My first impressions of people are invariably right.
It seems to me, Miss Fairfax, that I'm trespassing on your valuable time. No doubt you have many other calls of a similar character to make in the neighborhood.
Ernest! My own Ernest! A moment. May I ask you if you are engaged to be married to this young lady?
To dear little Cecily? Well, of course not. What could have put such an idea into your pretty little head?
Thank you. You may.
I knew there must be some misunderstanding, Miss Fairfax. The gentleman whose arm is at present around your waist is my guardian, Mr. John Worthing.
I beg your pardon.
This is Uncle Jack.
Jack? Ah!
Here is Ernest.
Cecily, my own love.
A moment, Ernest. May I ask you, are you engaged to be married to this young lady?
To what young lady? Good heavens, Gwendolen?
Yes, to good heavens, Gwendolyn. I mean to Gwendolyn.
Of course not. What could have put such an idea into your pretty little head?
Thank you. You may.
I felt there was some slight error, Miss Cardew. The man whose arm is presently around your waist is my cousin, Mr. Algernon Moncrief.
Algernon Moncrief! Oh! Are you called Algernon?
I cannot deny it.
Is your name really John?
I could deny it if I liked. I could deny anything if I liked. But I will tell you quite honestly that my name is John. It's been John for years.
A gross deception has been practiced on both of us.
My poor wounded Cecily.
My sweet, wronged Gwendolyn.
You will call me sister, will you not?
There is just one question that I would like to be allowed to ask my guardian.
An admirable opportunity. Mr. Worthing, there's just one question I would like to be able to put to you. We are both engaged to be married to your brother Ernest. So it is a matter of importance for us to know where your brother Ernest is at present.
Gwendolyn, Cecily, it pains me very much to be forced to speak the truth. In fact, this is the first time in my life where I've ever been reduced to such a painful position. And I have very little experience in it. But I will tell you quite candidly that I haven't a brother named Ernest. In fact, I have no brother at all. In fact, I've never had a brother. Indeed, I certainly don't intend to have a brother in the future.
No brother at all?
None.
Had you never a brother of any kind?
No, not even of any kind.
It looks as though neither of us is engaged to be married to anyone.
It is not a very pleasant position for a young girl to find herself in, is it?
Certainly not. Well, let us go into the house. They will hardly venture to come after us there.
No, the men are so cowardly, aren't they?
This ghastly state of things is what you call bun-bearing, I suppose?
Why, yes. And a perfectly wonderful bunbury it is. The most wonderful bunbury I've ever had in my life.
Well, you have no right whatsoever to bun-berry here.
One has a right to bunbury wherever one chooses. Every serious bunburyist knows that.
Serious bun-berries, good heavens.
Well, one must be serious about something if one wants to attain any amusement in life. What on earth you are serious about, I haven't got the remotest idea. About everything, I should fancy.
Well, the only small satisfaction I have in the whole of this wretched mess is that your friend Bunbury is quite exploded. You won't be able to run down to the country so often as you'd like to. And a very good thing, too.
Your brother is a little off color, isn't he, dear Jack? You won't be able to dissipate to London quite so frequently as your wicked custom was. And not a bad thing, either.
Well, as for your conduct towards Miss Cardew, I say you're taking in a sweet, simple, innocent girl like that. Well, it's inexcusable. To say nothing of the fact that she is my ward.
Well, I can see no possible defense at all for your deceiving a brilliant, clever, thoroughly experienced young lady like Miss Fairfax. To say nothing of the fact that she is my cousin.
Well, I am in love with Gwendolen. I wanted to be engaged to her, that is all.
Well, I'm in love with Cecily. I want to be engaged to her, that is all.
Well, there's certainly no chance of that ever happening.
Well, I don't see any likelihood of you and Miss Fairfax ever being united.
Well, that is no business of yours.
If it was my business, I wouldn't talk about it. It is very vulgar to talk about one's business, and only people like stockbrokers do that, and then merely at dinner parties.
How you can sit there, calmly eating muffins, when we are in this wretched mess, I can't quite make out. You seem to me to be perfectly heartless.
I couldn't eat muffins in an agitated manner, could I? The butter would probably get on my cuffs. One should always eat muffins quite calmly. It is the only way to eat them.
Can't say you're eating muffins at all under the circumstances. You are perfectly heartless.
When I am in trouble, eating is the only thing that consoles me. Indeed, when I am in really great trouble, as anyone who knows me intimately will tell you, I refuse everything except food and drink. At the present moment, I am eating these muffins because I am unhappy. Besides, I'm particularly fond of muffins.
You need not eat them all in that greedy way.
Jack, I wish to goodness you would have tea cake. I don't like tea cake.
You would think a man could eat his own muffins in his own garden, for goodness sake.
You have just said it was perfectly heartless to eat muffins.
I said it was perfectly heartless of you to eat muffins under the circumstances. That is an entirely different matter.
That may be. But the muffins are still the same.
Algy, I wish you would leave. Why don't you just go? I don't want you here.
Well, you can't possibly ask me to go without having some dinner. It's absurd. I never go without my dinner. Well, no one ever does. Except vegetarians and people like that. Besides, I've arranged with Dr. Chasuble to be christened at 5:45 under the name of Ernest.
Oh, my dear Algy, the sooner you give up that nonsense, the better. I have made plans with Dr. Chasuble this morning to be christened under the name of Ernest at 5:30. Naturally, I will take the name of Ernest. Gwendolen would wish it. We simply both can't take the name of Ernest. Well, that would be absurd. And I have never been christened. Well, at least I have no evidence of that fact. I should think it extremely probable that I never was christened. And so does Dr. Chasuble. You, on the other hand, are a completely different matter. You've been christened already.
Oh, yes, but I haven't been christened for years.
Yes, but you have been christened. That is the important thing.
Quite so. So I know my constitution can stand it. But if you're not sure about your ever having been christened, I must say I think it rather dangerous you're venturing on it now. You can hardly have forgotten that someone very nearly connected to you was just carried off in Paris by a severe chill.
Yes, but you said yourself that a severe chill wasn't hereditary.
Well, it used to be. But I dare say it is now. Science is always making wonderful improvements in things.
That is nonsense. You talk nothing but nonsense.
Jack, you're at the muffins again. I wish to goodness you wouldn't.
I don't like tea cake.
Well, then why on earth do you allow tea cake to be served up for your guests? What extraordinary ideas you have of hospitality.
Algie, I wish you would go. I don't want you here. I've already asked you once to leave. Why don't you just go?
Because there's still some muffins left. Besides, I haven't finished my tea yet.
Oh, they don't seem to notice as well. Couldn't you call? Please, please. I haven't a call. Oh, they're looking. They folded up and let us preserve a dignified sight. That's the only thing to your mind. You can come present. You say for them, but you will not be This is Robin. What is you offer to me for becoming brother? I didn't know that you might be able to come up to town to see me as often as possible. Can you doubt it yourself, sir? Well, I have a good stuff, but I was under custom. This is not the time for German skepticism. Again, when your common sense is invaluable, it's nothing. You kindly asking me the following question. Why did you pretend to be my valiant brother?
In order that I may have the opportunity for meeting you.
Nothing. This is a satisfactory explanation, is it not? You are sure that you can believe me. And I don't. Because it's not such the wonderful beauty of his answer. The matters of grave importance. So I will not persuade just the vital thing. In serving, what explanation can you offer to me for pretending to have a brother?
Well, I've already told you all I've ever wanted to do. Spend time with you, brother.
Well, how absurd to talk of the equality of sexes. For men who are self-sacrificed to concern, men are infinitely beyond it. And which of us should tell them, dear? The task is not a pleasant one. Could we not both speak at the same time? An excellent idea. Well, I know we always speak at the same time as other people. Will you take the time for me, dear? Oh, certainly. 1, 2, 3. Your 15 names are still inexcusable liars. That is all.
A Christian name? Is that all? But we are going to be christened this afternoon.
For me, who are prepared to do this horrible task?
I am.
Yes, a perfectly fearful ordeal.
I am.
Darling.
Darling. Lady in black now. Good heavens.
Merely that I am engaged to marry to Mr. Worthing, Mamma. Sit down immediately. Hesitation of any kind is a sign of mental decay in the young, physical weakness in the old. A pride, sir, that my daughter got inside by her questioning me, too confident I purchased by means of a small coin. I sold her once by the luggage train. An unhappy father, who I'm glad to say, under the impression that she's attending a more than usually lengthy lecture given by the University Extension Team on the influence of communism on board. Good! I do not propose to undeceive him. Indeed, I have never undeceived him. Not any question. However, you clearly understand that all communication between yourself and my daughter must cease immediately, from this moment. On this point, as on all points, I am firm.
I am to be engaged to Gwendolyn. Lady Blackwell, that is all.
You are nothing of the kind, sir. And now it's about Algernon. Algernon,
Yes, Aunt Augusta.
and may I ask you, if it is in this house that your old friend Mr. Bunbury resides?
No. Bunbury is somewhere else at present. Bunbury, he doesn't live here anymore. In fact, Bunbury is dead.
Dead? So when did Mr. Bunbury die? That must have been extremely sudden.
I killed Bunbury this afternoon. I died this afternoon.
So where did he die at?
Bunbury was just quite exploded.
Exploded? Was he the victim of a revolutionary outrage? Why, was not aware that Mr. Bunbury was interested in safety legislation. If so, he was well punished for his morbidity.
I mean, Bunbury was found out. The doctors found out that he couldn't live. So Bunbury died.
It seems Mr. Bunbury had great confidence in the opinion of his physician. However, I am glad that he made up his mind at last to some definite course of action and acted under proper medical advice. And now that we have gotten rid of this Mr. Bunbury, may I ask you, Mr. Williams, whose hand is that my nephew is now holding in what seems to me a peculiarly unnecessary manner?
That lady is Miss Cecily Cardew, my ward. I'm engaged to be married to Cecily, Aunt Augusta.
I beg your pardon? It's not his land that you married, Lady Daphne. Oh, dear. I do not know whether there is something peculiarly exciting in this particular part of her picture. But the number of engagements that go on seems to me particularly above the average that statistics have laid down for our guidance. I think some preliminary inquiry on my part would not be out of place. Mr. Wedding, is Miss Cardew at all related with any of the larger railway stations in London? I merely desire information. Until yesterday, I had no idea that there were any families or persons whose origin was a permanent.
Miss Cardew is the granddaughter of the late Mrs. Thomas Cardew of 149 Belgrave Square, Gervais Park, Dorking, Surrey, and the 4 N, 5-star North Bridge.
Those three addresses always inspire confidence. It would encourage me. However, not to survive their authenticity.
I've carefully preserved the court ties of the period. They are, of course, open to your inspection, Lady
Oh,
Blackwell.
I have known strange errors in that publication.
Miss Cardew's family solicitors are Marcy, and Marcy.
Marcy, and Marcy. A firm of the very highest position in their profession. Indeed, I am told that one of the Marquis is occasionally to be seen out at dinner parties. So far, I'm satisfied.
You will be also pleased to hear that I have in my possession certificates of Miss Cardew's birth, baptism, whooping cough, confirmation, registration, vaccination, and the measles, both the English and the German variety.
A life crowded with incidents. I see, though perhaps somewhat too exciting for a young girl. I am not myself in favor of premature experience. Finally, I can't take this to our departure. We have not a moment to lose. Oh, Mr. Williams, I had better ask you as a matter of form if Miss Cardew has any little fortune.
Just about £130,000 in the fund. That is all. Good day, Lady Blackwell.
Mr. Williams? £130,000? And in the fund? Oh, Miss Cardew seems to me a most attractive young lady. Now that I look at her, you girls with the sudden girl have any really solid qualities that last and improve with time. You live, as I regret to inform you, in an age of surfaces. Come here, dear. Oh, your dress is sadly simple. Your hair, it seems almost as nature might have left it. But that can soon be altered. A thoroughly exchanged French maid produces a really marvelous effect, and it's a very brief space of time. Indeed, I remember recommending one to Lady Lancing, and after 3 months, her own husband did not know her.
And after 6 months, nobody knew her.
Kind of turn around, sweetheart. No, the side view is what I want. Yes, quite as I had expected. There are distinct social possibilities in your profile. The two points of our age are its want of principle and its want of profile. The chin a little higher, dear. Yes, that is it. Style largely depends on the way in which the chin is worn. It's worn quite high just at present.
Yes, Aunt Augusta.
There are distinct social possibilities in Miss Carter's profile.
Cecily is the dearest, sweetest, prettiest girl I ever saw. And I don't care twopence about social possibilities.
Ferdinand, you're not speaking successfully in society. Only those who can get into it do that. Yes, of course you know that Algernon has nothing but his debts to depend on. But I do not approve of mercenary marriages. No, when I married Lord Bracknell, I had no fortune of any kind. Oh, but I never dreamed for a moment of allowing that to stand in my way. I must give my consent. Thank you, Lady Bracknell. You may proceed. For the future, please address me as Aunt Augusta. Thank you, Aunt Augusta. The marriage had better take place quite soon.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta. Oh, yes, to speak quite frankly, I am not myself in favor of long engagements. Why, they give people the opportunity of finding each other's character out before marriage. Oh, which is never advisable.
Pray excuse me for interrupting you, Lady Bracknell, but I am Miss Carter's guardian. She will not marry without my consent. My consent, I absolutely decline to give.
Upon what grounds, may I ask? Algernon is an extremely, I may almost say ostentatiously eligible young man. Why, he has nothing. But look everything. What more could one desire?
It pains me very much to be forced to speak the truth to you about your own nephew, but I don't approve at all of his moral character. I suspect him of being untruthful.
Untruthful? My nephew Algernon? No. Impossible. He is an Austonian.
I fear there can be no doubt about the matter. Yesterday, during my temporary absence in London, on an important question of romance, he obtained admission to my house under a false pretense of being my brother. He then drank, I've just been informed by my butler, an entire pint bottle of Carrier-Jouet Brut 89, a wine I was specially preserving for myself. He then continued in his disgraceful deception and alienating affection to my own reward. He subsequently stayed the tea and devoured every single muffin. What makes his actions all the more heartless is that he knew right from the start that I don't have a brother, that I never had a brother, and that I certainly don't intend to have a brother, not even of any kind. He knows this because I just simply told him so myself yesterday at the meeting.
Mr. Worthing, after careful consideration, I have decided entirely to overlook my nephew's conduct to you.
That is so very generous of you, Lady Bracknell. My own decision, however, is unalterable. I decline to give my consent.
Come here, dear. How old are you?
Now, really, 18. But admitting to pleasant evening parties, too, it will not be very long before you are of age and free from the restraints of tutelage. So, it does not seem that your guardian's consent is, after all, a matter of any importance.
Oh, excuse me for interrupting you again, Lady Bethel. I think it only fair to tell you that, according to your grandfather's will, Miss Cardew does not come legally of age until she is 35.
Well, that does not seem to me a grave objection. Why, 35 is a very attractive age. London society is full of women of the very highest birth who have, on their own free choice, remained 35 for years. Lady Dumbleton is an instance in point. To my knowledge, she has been 35 ever since she arrived at the age of 40. It's some years ago now. Well, I see no reason why our dear Cecily will not be even more beautiful at the age you mentioned than she is at present. There will be a large accumulation of property.
Albert, could you wait for me until I was 35? Of course I could. You know I could.
Yes, I thought you instinctively, but I don't think I could wait all that time. Why, it's literally 5 minutes for everybody. It always makes me rather cross. I'm not punctual myself, I know, but I too like punctuality in others. And waiting, even to be married, is out of the question.
But then what is to be done?
I don't know, nothing. Oh, Mr. Worthing, as it seems, Miss Cardew has a privilege that she cannot wait until she is 35 to be married. Her remark of her bound to say was a rather impatient nature. So I must beg of you to reconsider your decision.
But Lady Bethel, the matter is entirely in your own hands. The moment you consent to my marriage with Gwendolyn, I will most gladly allow your nephew to form the alliance of my ward.
Of course you will, but just now, it's completely out of the question.
Then a passionate celibacy is all that any of us can look forward to.
That is not the destiny I have in mind for my Gwendolyn. Algernon, of course, can choose for himself. Gwendolyn, who has already aspired, it's not such a shame to look any more when strangers to comment on the platform.
Everything is quite ready for the christening.
The christening, sir? Is not that somewhat premature?
Both of these gentlemen have expressed an immediate desire for baptism.
Expired? The idea is so tough, I never meant it. Algernon? I can't think it is outside. I will not hear of such excesses. Lord Rosemary would be tired of please if he were to hear that this is the way in which you wasted your time and money.
Am I to understand, then, that there is to be no christenings at all this afternoon? I'm afraid, Dr. Chasuble, that under the circumstances, christenings would serve as no practical value to either of us. I am grieved to hear such sentiments from you, Mr. Worthing. They do favor the heretical views of the Anabaptists, views that I have completely refuted in 4 of my own published sermons. However, your present need does seem to be one peculiarly secular, and I will return to the church at once. Indeed, I've just been informed by the fuel committee for the last hour and a half. Miss Prism has been waiting for them in the vestry.
Miss Prism? Did I hear you mention her, Miss Prism?
Yes, Lady Bracknell. I'm on my way to join her.
Oh, allow me to detain you. This may prove to be of vital importance to Lord Bracknell and myself. Miss Prism, a female of repellent aspect, she mostly connected with education.
She is the most cultivated of ladies, and the very picture of respectability.
Very sincere person. May I ask, it is Miss House, what position she holds in your household?
I am delicate, madam. Miss Chisholm, Lady Bracknell, has been for the last 3 years Miss Cardew's esteemed governess and valued companion. In spite of what I feel of her, I must see her at once. What is that for?
He approaches. He is nigh.
I was told today for me to just to your cabin. I've been working there an hour for quarter. Miss Chisholm, come here, Miss Chisholm. Miss Chisholm, where is that baby? 28 years ago, Chisholm, you left Lord Bracknell's house, number 104 of the Grosvenor Square, in charge of a perambulator that could take a baby. He never returned. A few weeks later, through the elaborate investigations of the Metropolitan Police, the perambulator was discovered in a remote corner of Bayswater. It contained a manuscript of a 3-volume novel of more than usually refreshing sentimentality. The baby was not there. Chisholm, where is that baby? Lady Bracknell, I think it's been that I do not know. I only wish I did. The fact of the case of these, on the day you mentioned, a day that is forever branded in my memory. I prepared as usual to take the baby out in the perambulator. I had also with me a somewhat old but protected handbag, which I intended to place a manuscript of a work of fiction that I written during a few unoccupied hours. In a moment of utter distraction, so that I can never forgive myself, I placed the manuscript in the basket net and the baby in the handbag. Where did you place the handbag? Do not ask me, Mr. Robin. No. This is a matter of no small importance. I insist on knowing where you placed the handbag. I can take anything. I placed it in one of those other larger railway stations in London. What railway station? Victoria. The Brighton line. I must have out of my room for a moment. When do you wait here for me? Oh, if you are not wrong, I will wait here for you all my life. What do you suppose this means, Lady Bracknell? Oh, I dare not even suspect that it's possible. Finding it hard to tell you that it's not even hard to do things. And strange coincidences are not supposed to occur. You're hard to consider this thing. Examine it carefully before you speak. The happiness of more than one life depends upon your answer. Oh, please be mine. Yes? Here's the interview received during an upsetting at the Gower Street Omnibus in the younger and happier days. And here are the lines. It is being caused by a tempest beverage. An incident which occurred in Leamington. And here in the lock of my research, I've forgotten in the extravagant mood I'd have him placed there. The bag is undoubtedly mine. I'm so happy to have it unexpectedly restored to me after all these years. It has been a great convenience to me without it. More is restored to you than the handbag. I was the baby placed in it. You? Yes. Mother! Unmarried? I do not deny that this is a serious blow. But then who has a right to cast a stone at one who has suffered? Cannot repentance wipe out enough of folly? Why must there be one law for men and another for women? Mother, I forgive you. fact, now, the paper seeming privilege, would you mind telling me who I am?
I'm afraid that the news I have to give you will not altogether please you. You are the son of my poor sister, Mrs. Moncrief, and consequently, Algernon's older brother.
Certainly, I've always told you I had a brother out here. This is my unfortunate brother. Dr. Chasuble, my unfortunate brother. Who is my unfortunate brother? How can you never treated me with the respect of a brother in all your life? You never treated me like a brother at all. It was not until now, I admit. Although I was out of practice.
My own. But what on earth you? You want to get this to me and you become somebody else.
I've quite forgotten that point. I suppose your decision on my Christian name is irrevocable?
You are nothing. It's just a matter. What a low relation you have, Duncan.
The point better be cleared up at once. At Augusta, at the time when these children left me in the handbag, had I been christened already?
Oh, every luxury that money could buy, including christening, was lavished on you by your fond and doting parents.
Well, that is done by what christening? Now, what name was I given? Please, let me know the word.
Well, being eldest, you were naturally christened after your father.
Yes, but what was my father's Christian name?
At this moment, you call this a general Christian name, eh? Sure, I have no doubt that he had one. But it's expensive, I must admit. But only in later years, and that was as a result of the Indian climate, and marriage, and indigestion. Things of that sort.
Algy, can you recall what our father's Christian name was? My dear boy, we were never even on speaking terms. He died before I was a year old. I suppose his name would appear in the army list of the period, Aunt Augusta?
Oh, the general was essentially a man of peace, except in his domestic life. But I have no doubt that his name would appear in any military directory.
The army list of the period, right here. It made them my constant study. M. General here. 1849, Mowlin, Moxbone, Mixty, a ghastly name to have. Moxie, Moncrief, here it is. General, 1860. Christian name, Ernest John. My name is Ernest. Naturally, is Ernest.
Oh, yes. Now I recall the general was called Ernest. I knew I had some particular reason for disliking your name. Ernest. My own Ernest. You I thought from the start that you could have no other name.
It's Wendy, it's very painful for a man to realize that I was right in speaking nothing but the truth. Can you forgive me?
Oh, I can. For I fear you are sorts of things.
Sister, Jackie, Gwendolyn, Adra.
My nephew. You seem to be displaying signs of triviality.
On the contrary, Aunt Augusta, I realized for the first time in my life the vital importance of being earnest.
This is Cable 18 of the Cherry Hill Public Schools television station.